With a powerful explosion, Annie successfully used the blast to cover her movements. After everything settled down, the Special Forces officers slowly moved in with riot shields in hand. However, after searching the entire room, they found that Annie was not there at all, so Agent Ross had no choice but to order the Washington T-team to lock down the entire building. While they went to Annie's surveillance setup to look for clues, what they didn't know was that Annie had already tied a rope and slid down along the opening created by the explosion. Very quickly, Annie safely reached the basement level, picking off the vent cover with force. Annie crawled out through the narrow ventilation opening to draw all the police attention. She deliberately used her handgun to destroy the surveillance cameras in the underground parking garage. Everything went exactly as Annie had expected, and Agent Ross was indeed drawn over. Ross immediately ordered all special forces to head to the underground garage, vowing to capture Annie. Carrying the sniper rifle, Annie moved quickly. She then stopped at a vent and quickly unscrewed the screws. At this moment, the special forces had already arrived at the garage, and their hurried footsteps forced Annie to speed up. After opening the vent cover, she threw the sniper rifle in first, then slowly squeezed her whole body into the narrow vent. At the exact moment, the Washington T-team arrived. Annie successfully closed the vent cover, and they didn't notice anything unusual. By the time Agent Ross reached the basement, Annie had already escaped the building. Ross tried to provoke Annie through voice communication to make her come out on her own, but even after searching the entire underground parking lot, the Washington T-team still found no trace of Annie. What they didn't know was that Annie had already changed her clothes, successfully evaded capture, and disappeared into the subway tunnel with the sniper rifle on her back. Everything had seemed to be going smoothly, but when Annie returned to her uncle's house, the scene in front of her made her collapse instantly. Her beloved grandmother was lying on the ground, and the uncle who cared deeply for her had been tied to a chair and shot to death. At this moment, Annie was filled with rage. She was determined to make the killer pay the most painful price.